Hello and welcome to I'm a Perfectionist, Get Me Out of Here, where we are all allowed to be perfectly imperfect. I'm Eileen Webb, a licensed psychologist, CBT and EMDR therapist, author, NLP practitioner, and as you can see, a podcaster as well. Hello and welcome. My guest this week is Inga Nordin, and she is best-selling author, award-winning speaker, and also life and business coach. She's absolutely amazing. Her motto is, it's never too late to start again. I did it at 65. What's your excuse? So let's have a chat with this amazing woman to learn how she started all over again at 65.
Thank you so much, Eileen.
And I'm going to now ask you, hur mår du?
You're going to ask me what?
Hur mår du?
Hur mår jag? Jag mår bra, nästan.
As far as my Swedish extends.
That's good.
I thought I'd give it a try. So thank you for coming today. My first question will be about your journey. And what would you say that our audience would gain to stay if they would listen to us? How would you encourage them to stay and listen to us, and what would they gain?
Well, I would start with saying that it's never too late to start over. I did it at 65, so what's your excuse? So, having said that, if you stay on and listen to Eileen and me speaking, you will get so much more experience about how you can start over and how you can change the way you're doing things.
Amazing, because change is often scary for people, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If you're not impacting it yourself, then it's scary, right?
So tell us a bit about yourself. I'm so excited to hear about your story because you have such an amazing life. So many different things that you have done. You have also been to America. You've been in management positions. So would you tell us a bit about what made Inga today? How did you become who you are now?
What made me now? I think all of my life experience together in a way, but also the kind of challenges I've faced.
Mhm.
And one of the first challenges I faced was actually when people told me you should retire.
Right. So after 35 years, and it would be great to hear about those 30, just,
Something about that. Yeah, I'm coming
about
back to
that,
that.
yes, what you have got from that you could apply to that big
Yeah,
change
yeah.
as well. So they told you should retire.
Well, my brother-in-law actually said, why don't you just relax?
Hmm.
And you've been working all your life, so why don't you just sit down and relax? And I said, that's not me. That's never been me. Because going back, when I was working for IBM, I actually had a period of time when I changed my work position. I went from training into management, and I was like, okay. I had a manager then that said to me, you need to kind of go home now. The time is to go home, because I was used to work so many hours. And then he said, go home. It's 5 o'clock, go home. And I was like, coming home, I collapsed. This was the hardest thing I could do, to just leave things. Because as you said before, perfectionism, you have to kind of do it a bit more, right? You have to do a lot more. So I was, what do you call it in English? When you're burnt out. That
Yeah.
was the closest thing to being burnt out that I experienced. Because my manager, the new manager I had, he actually realized that I was on the edge of the cliff, if you like. So if he hadn't told me to go home, I would have kind of continued, and then I would have collapsed altogether. So that was one of the things, right?
Yeah, so you actually haven't noticed that you kept going, you kept going, you kept going.
No,
You were running out of resources.
exactly. And
And
also, I was like, I had so much fun doing what I was doing because, oh, just this little thing, and this little thing, and this little thing. You know it, right?
it's never enough, is it? It's
Yeah.
never enough. And once you get there, you're like, oh, I could do a little bit more. And
Yeah.
yes, burnout is a very usual problem coming
Yeah.
for perfectionists. So if I may go back to perfectionism and
Hmm.
of history around that, what would you say? How do you think you have learned those traits about those high standards that they have to be reached, that they have to be at a certain standard? And
Hmm.
was that about you, or did you find yourself sometimes trying to apply that on other people? That big,
Uh, I think it was more about me than
yeah,
what other people was saying. But I can take another example about this because when I was a manager at another company, I had this guy that was on sick leave because he was burnt out. I
yeah.
hadn't met him before I started as a manager. And then he was supposed to come back and start training, work training, if you like. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? What is this? Okay. So I had to sit down and think about how did I react when I was kind of on the way to get burned out? And
Yeah,
what kind of suggestions can I give to him? So
yeah.
what I actually did was to sit down with him and I asked him, do you want to work or do you want to be sick? And he was like, what? I want to work. Okay. Do you know
Make
then?
work? Do you want to be productive, or do you just want to be productive for a short period of time, burn out, and then be sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Uh, but also that if he had answered no, I don't want to work, then I would have left him to go be, right?
yeah.
But also what I actually had heard before was that he was burnt out due to being a perfectionist.
Mm.
So I actually took what I had experienced before, and then I said, do you know that you can never ever do anything perfectly? And he was like, what? What do you mean by that? Have you heard about the 80-20 rule? 80% is enough, 20% you can leave it out. And that if you don't do that, that is when you cause the burnout. That's when you are too much of a perfectionist. And he was like, oh, I get it. So he actually came back to work. And my manager then said to me, how did you do this? How could you get him to come back and not being this perfectionist all the time? Well, I just asked him if he wanted to work or not.
Such a simple question, isn't it?
Yeah.
But really makes you think. Okay, really, what do I want? Because
Mm,
if I'm going to pursue this um, perfectionism, if I keep
yeah.
of perfectionism, then I end up being burned out and not work and not be productive.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he was really happy because he could see around him that people were not expecting him to be more than he was.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was really something. Yeah.
His own perception, what others were expecting of him.
Oh, yes.
Well, and then realized that actually people were not expecting what he thought
No.
that they
It
were.
was him putting those expectations on himself.
That's amazing, isn't it? Because this type of perfectionism, research shows that since 1987 um, uh, and 2017, I think, has doubled amongst young
Mhm.
people, and it's really dangerous. What the type of perfectionism that we think what others are expecting of us. We don't
Oh,
know
yes.
Yeah,
No.
for sure. But we just imagine that that would be, well, they would be expecting this of me.
Well,
And
we put it in our own mind,
yes,
the belief that we need to be better and we need to be more, right?
yeah, and I have clients who are in high level management, and they say, well, since I'm the CEO, people would expect me to, yeah, or people wouldn't expect me to, uh, dot dot dot, and whatever
Yeah.
it is, they just imagine what they would be expected of them, that
Mm.
that they should not ever be anxious because they're the CEO. But
But
then,
if you are genuine, you get more out of people, right? If
yeah,
you are genuinely you, because no one else can be you. So if you are you,
yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
I've forgotten the English word for it. What do you call it?
Authentic, authentic,
Authentic. Yeah.
yeah,
If
authentic,
you are authentically you,
yeah.
then you get the respect you want. Even if you're a CEO, if you are showing yourself vulnerable, you get more out of people, right? Because they dare to be vulnerable then.
Yes, and I think that there is courage in vulnerability, isn't there?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You have to be courageous in order to be vulnerable. So
Yeah.
I think they go hand in hand with
Mm.
uncertainty, especially when you're
Oh,
vulnerable,
yes.
you open up to
Oh, yes.
uncertainty. But when you're courageous, you also open up to uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's okay to be anxious because you're human and it's part of being human.
Yeah. And also, if you see uncertainty in today's world, uncertainty is what you need to face all the day, all the time. You need to be kind of prepared to jump from one part of it to another one and to another one. I don't know what it's called in English that either.
Uh,
If you are on safe ground, what do you say?
uh,
You're not on.
I'm
Hang
not
on.
sure, but I know an amazing quote that
You
said,
need to go from one tuft to another tuft.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
There is actually a quote. I love it. It says, a ship is safe in a harbor, but but that's not what ships are built for. Yeah. So we can choose to sit in the harbor, but that's not what we are built for.
Mm,
Humans are
yeah,
naturally,
exactly.
yeah, meant to look for challenges and overcome them and build resilience through those. So
And know where you're going, right? Because I have trainings in being present,
yeah,
and you normally say, well, if you are out rowing a boat and an empty boat is jumping into you, you get mad. No, no, normally not. But if you are that empty boat, what does that mean? You don't know where you're going. You can't face what's happening in front of you. You have to be guiding yourself forward, right? Not being that empty boat. So dare to be present, I say, because that's the only way you can really see what's happening around you.
fantastic advice, Inga. Fantastic advice. So yeah, here are already reasons um, why our audience would benefit from us listening
Thank you.
to our conversation. Amazing. Lots of things to take out from this already, I think. So, with your journey in the professional life about perfectionism, you
Mm-hmm.
encountered both within yourself the burnout due to trying to achieve the things that were impossible standards,
Oh,
um,
yes.
humanly
For
impossible.
myself, standards I put up myself.
Yeah. And then you were also able to recognize on others what they were doing due to their
Mm.
perfectionism. And and I guess that has really empowered you as a manager, that you were able to recognize this on people and
Well, I could see it in myself and hence I could experience it, right? It's always coming from within yourself.
Yeah, so you were able to take a step back and gain that awareness of
Mm.
what perfectionism actually was doing to you and what it can do
Hmm.
to others. That's, I think, quite often we say recovering perfectionist, because the thing is, it's sometimes it's so deep that you find yourself doing it. But most important thing is to, oh, I know what's happening now, and then take
Yeah.
it back and say, yep, no, I'm going to walk away from this. This is good enough. Yeah, I did my best, and that's good enough. Just being able to say that, right? Um,
But you still need to be aware of that you
yeah,
can go there yourself again and see the signals around you. And that's
exactly.
why yeah, and that's why I'm kind of really focusing on being present now.
Yeah. And how did you have got this amazing book,
Oh, thank you.
like, The Power of You, and you have the second edition now as well, I think. Uh,
Yeah, and also in Swedish.
Also the Swedish, yes, I've seen that. On Amazon, you've got the Swedish version as well. Amazing, congratulations.
Thank you.
How did you, when you, would you mind telling a little bit about that journey? What happened at 65, and what brought you to
Oh,
write that
oh.
book? And
How long do we have?
oh, how did perfectionism affect your book writing and the change? There's so much
Yeah.
exciting about you and your life. So I'm sure everyone would love to hear as well.
Thank you. Well, the thing is, I attended, after I retired, I attended a course by Success Resources
Mhm.
called Millionaire Mind Intensive.
Right.
But that course for me was the starting point to do something else, something different than I had done before. Because when I was working in corporate, everyone said I had such a successful career and things. But I didn't really develop myself.
Mm.
I did go inwards and see who I was. But the journey I started after this Millionaire Mind Intensive in 2017 was I bought a quantum leap, including a lot of programs. I sold my car to afford it because I was retired, right? So I didn't have the money stashed somewhere. And also, this actually made me think about money in a different way than I'd done before. Because when I was working, I had good salary, right? But I spent everything. I never ever thought about putting away money for other reasons. I didn't think about investing in things. So there's so much more. But what I've gained from this journey is not only all the friends you get, it's also me. I got me. I, I got who I am from that. And one of the things I actually did was attend a course in Morocco, where I actually thought I was to develop my company. I had signed up for a property investment in the US. And since this course was with Makatram, you know him, right?
I do, of course. Yes, yeah, Linda's husband as well. Yes,
Yeah,
amazing guy. Really love.
yeah, yes.
Yes.
And then on this course, it was called, hang on, let me see if I can remember what it's called. I can't. Anyhow, that course, we had to kind of come up with what we should do and how we should move on. And I was crying. I was crying and crying and crying. And then Mac all of a sudden put me in a chair next to him, and he said, "What are you thinking about now?" "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do." "You're not going to be in property investment. You are going to do bum, 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 bum." "What?" I said. And I stopped crying because he hit something within me. And what actually happened was that afterwards he helped me to come across 4 different areas that I should focus on in trainings: science of the mind, self-leadership, sales, and social media, because all of that I'd done a lot of, but I didn't really see it as being me. So I developed the courses. I started with the first one and then the second one. And I had, in February, I should hold the first course. And what happened? Well, we all have heard about at least the pandemic. And that hit. So no one wanted to meet me.
If perfectionism is getting in the way of you living your life to the full, then check out my new book, Perfectly Imperfect: Cultivating Your Self-Worth in a Demanding World. It's based on cognitive behavioral principles and can help you work on yourself.
And I was like, what am I to do now? So then I started writing my book. So 4 of the chapters are around those 4 courses. And then I added 2 more. So that's how my book came around.
Yeah. Because you already had all the information and
Yeah, I just had to structure it in a different way.
yeah. And I mean, it's amazing to hear how you have overcome the hurdles and how, it's always good to have those people in our lives that sometimes are holding a mirror when we are inside the frame, and they can help us see a bit
Mm.
more clearly, and the things that we dismiss, especially perfectionism has that thing that, well, I don't know anything. I have got, people won't be interested in what I
No,
have.
exactly.
Not good. It's not amazing enough, no one will be interested. So
Imposter syndrome.
when someone comes and holds a mirror and say, "Hey, this sounds great. That sounds great, and why don't you focus on that?" Is
Mm.
it really is helpful. And
Yeah.
how did you find, Inga, when you were preparing the courses and writing the book later, especially about the book writing and publishing part? How did you find the perfectionist traits have affected
I
you?
had a good mentor, and I also had a good structure of writing the book.
Mhm.
And that actually helped me a lot, because then I couldn't be perfectionist in that way. And I also had people reading what I've written so they could give me feedback.
Mhm.
So it's more about, well, you can't be perfect when you're writing. You just have to have it flow. And what I've realized is that I love writing. I actually went to Medium and he said, when I'm older, I should do fiction books. And then I thought for myself, okay, I'm 72 now. When it's older.
Yeah, just start now.
Yeah.
And the thing about the perfect book as well is that for some people it's perfect, and some people it's going to be boring. The other
Yeah.
day, I actually met someone who read my book, and face to face in a gathering, and she said, "Oh my God, you're Eileen! I read my book. I read your book," and she said, when it finished, I felt so sad that I went back and started rereading it. So she said I didn't want it to finish.
Mm.
And I thought, well, then it's been worth all the efforts that.
So you need to write another one, a follow-up.
Oh, well, I'm writing, already writing another one with a colleague, and we are writing about the resilient professional.
Ah, yeah.
Building resilience and how perfectionism as well can affect you, and how you can handle it, and how you can look after yourself in the landscape of professional life in this century right now, how as the things are moving really fast. And often,
When you say resilience, I know a lot of people have problems with that word. Could you explain a bit more?
yeah, resilience is about being able to face the challenges and whatever is thrown on your way without trying to avoid it, without curling up and running away or falling apart. So being
Mhm.
able to build up that confidence in yourself that you are capable, whether it's in your professional life, and this book is looking more into your professional life. It's focused on the resilient professional, but
Mm,
of course, everything that we are writing is also to build up that resilience in your personal life, because you can apply that to different
yeah,
aspects
yeah,
of
yeah.
your life as well. Just being able to keep your calm and clear and focused self, and what kind of building blocks and technique
Mm.
tools you can use. So it's really
Thank you.
exciting. Thank you. It's exciting. So, and thank you. That's great that you actually encouraged me to explain resilience, because I wouldn't have thought about that otherwise. And you're right. Some people may not be, well, resilience, what is it?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe it's accountability, or maybe
exactly.
authenticity, or maybe hang on.
Yeah, exactly. So how is your journey as things are now? You have overcome a lot of challenges, and also there is that thing about, oh, you should retire, oh, you should just take it easy. And you know what's best for you, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah, sometimes you do. And sometimes I must say, I got another boing in my head.
yeah.
When 2022, I actually worked a lot trying to get my courses online, and because I'm a person that likes to meet people. I wanted to have the live meeting. I didn't want to have them online. But
You're
I worked a lot of that.
and really friendly and amazing. Also, you're really good.
Thank you. And then I did too much in 2022. So actually in January 2023, I got shingles. It hit me like this.
Whoa, okay.
So in 2023, it was more of a recovery year.
Mm.
I had to kind of think about what I was doing. I had to restart things because I couldn't work as much as I did before.
Can you
And
tell
shingle,
again
shing,
with shingles? Can you tell us a bit more about what you experienced, how it came about, how it
oh
was?
yes, oh yes. What actually? I mean, you have to have small pocket. What do
Oh,
you call it in here?
I think it's called smallpox or something. I'm not
Yeah,
sure, but
something like that. But then you have had to have that before, otherwise you can't get
as a
shingles.
child, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And also, what's happening is that when you are stressing too much, you have tried to do too much, you're not taking care of yourself. As we tell every client, right? Take care of yourself first. So what happened was actually when I was actually having a PT session, and all of a sudden I felt like someone was putting a knife in my back. And I said, this is crazy. I don't know what this is, but it hurts. Like the
Mhm.
swearing word. Um, so my PT, he's also doing massage and things, and he had a look and he said, no, I think it's actually where the joint is to the back, so it's something there. But it didn't get better.
Mhm.
So on this Saturday, I went to the hospital. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't do anything. And then the doctor said the same. Oh, this is
I
this
think
and this.
you felt it mostly on your back,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. But the coming week, just within a couple of days, I got all those spots
Mm.
all around my
Red.
wrist. What do you call it? It's not wrist. Oh my God. This
Where
could be go. Sorry?
did you say on your wrist?
No, it's not the wrist. Um,
Elbow?
no.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just
Waist.
okay. Yeah.
So in the East they call it the snake,
Right.
the sickness. So it went all around my waist to
Mhm.
the front. and then you have to go and get medicine within 78 hours, I think it is. But since they didn't realize I had it before, I got the medicine too late. So I'm still feeling this, like numbness in my waist and things. But that's something you can overcome as well, right? You can do what you can do. You don't have to be on top of everything. And that's something this 2023 has taught me. You can do and do prioritize to be you, not what other people have as expectations of you. If you want to go to sleep, you do. If you want to do this, you do. So it's more like doing things in a different way and realizing that what you tell other people applies for you as well. You know, the one put on the mask first.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, they say that on the plane, don't they? So
Yeah.
self-care is important. It's not, and I think that the many people think self-care is about
Being selfish.
selfish. Yes, it's
It
selfish. But on the other hand,
is
you look after yourself so that you can be your best self to look after the other
others. Yeah.
ones as
Yeah.
well. And we are, Inga, you and I, we are going to keep promoting this. Keep promoting
Yeah.
it. Self-care, love
Go
yourself.
for it. Go for it.
It's not selfish, it's what you can do best for your loved ones. Because if you're
Yeah.
happy, you can keep them. You can also make
Yeah. And also if you have clients around, right? It's really important that you are taking care of yourself and that you know yourself and your limitations. If you have any, don't we all? So it's more like you have to live by example.
yeah. And being authentic, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
that you are human and that's okay.
Oh,
That
are you? I thought you were a robot.
was very disappointed when I found out.
Yeah.
And I do actually say that to some of my clients when they, you know how it is with lots of things that we are not in control of, but the clients are trying to be in control of, and that's why they start feeling anxious. And at the end, there's a point where I come, I'm so sorry to break you the news, but you are actually only human.
Yeah. And it's when you're human that you show your authentic self, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when I was working at this big IT company, I came across an organization that was called ECPAT. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yes, I have heard about it. Yes.
They're working against child abuse and child pornography and a lot of things like this, right? And actually, I thought this is a great thing. How can we get involved as a company?
Mm.
And I asked those guys there, oh, instead of just giving money to you, can we be involved in another way? So what I actually did then, I put together a business case. In 2 weeks, I got the CEO of the company to sign off the business case, and we applied to be members to work against this. And also, I actually made my manager the one stepping into the steering group for the part that was working against the payments part, payment solutions, to stop all the payments. So that was really something that I felt, this is my heart, this is me.
Yeah, and it's such an amazing cause as well, isn't it? It's a great, it's a great cause too. So you are, I mean, you keep going, Inga. Are you, whereabouts are you? Are you in Stockholm?
Yeah, Stockholm, Sweden.
Yeah, and that this is what I like. I mean, I love meeting in person, and it was really nice to meet you as well. But what I also feel that I can reach so many people and can have so many fantastic guests bringing in all their experience and knowledge that they can share with us in this setting. So
Mm.
Really great. So what would you say, Inga? Is there anything that you think is important to give as a message that we haven't covered yet that would be really useful for our audience, perhaps for those who are struggling with perfectionism, or perhaps for those who may think, oh, I'm at a retirement age now, um, and from here it's only downhill because
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Downhill skiing.
that kind of does happen, doesn't it? You with
Mm,
your age, you start being around the people often that are similar
mm.
ages as you, and then they're all retiring, and my husband,
Focus on,
and
sorry.
my husband has been retired for a while, and our lives are very different. And I
Mm,
have to be really conscious about we are in very different stages of our lives, uh,
mm.
and that I still have a lot of drive. Where he is like, I have done my work. I've worked hard all my life. Now I just want to relax, fun, and play golf and whatever. And that's okay, but I'm not there yet.
No, it's not you, right?
Too much to do. Oh my God, there isn't enough time.
Yeah. I think that there are two or three things I would love to say. The first one is be grateful for what you have. Every morning I do a gratitude process, and that sets my day up. I have 10 things I'm grateful for every morning, and then in the evening the same. Not 10 things, but I'm grateful for the day. And then also, I have to go back and say again, it's never too late to start over. I did it when I was 65. So what's your excuse? And I'm now 72, turning 73 in November. And I have the time of my life. And I wouldn't have had it if I hadn't kind of gone into this self-development journey, because you have to know yourself, be your authentic self.
And I think that if we keep going without really understanding ourselves, we just keep going for
Mhm.
survival, um, looking successful, and so on. But it is not aligned, it's not always aligned with what matters to us and our values.
Mhm.
And as you say, when you go through that personal journey to understand yourself, to get to know yourself better, then the things that really matter to you
Mm.
locked. You keep unlocking layer by layer. That really matters. Oh, that's really important. And so what you do becomes more fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have more fun, and you kind of connect with people that resonates with you, not people you have to connect with, but the people you really love to be around.
Yeah. Well, that's
I think that is so important as well. And I mean, if I may say about my course, it's the key to get better relationships and increase sales. It's a free course. And what I focus on there is how you, by being present, actually can better your relationships. And hence, relationship is sales, right? So all of this is connected together. And presence is the most important thing we have today, especially in today's world. A lot of people tend to be online meetings and they do this and this and this and this, are everywhere else but not present in the meeting. Have you seen that?
yeah. No, absolutely. There is also a research that shows that people are either in the future, thinking about the
Oh,
future,
yes.
or dwelling about the past 50% of the time, which means that we are missing the present moment
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
half of our lives. We are missing the present moment half of our lives. This is the
So
hard
we don't enjoy actually where we are.
yeah, you are thinking about, oh, what's going to happen? How am I going to do this? Am I going to get the job? Or what if I lose my job? Is this going to happen? Are the kids okay? You know,
Mm,
or why did I do this? I wish I didn't go there. I wish I didn't say this. How dare he did that to me, and so on. But you're
mm,
missing, you're not here. You're in a dimension that no longer exists or have not happened
mm.
yet. So
So it's like you're looking in a rear mirror, what's happened before, and
yeah,
then you miss everything that is here now. Or you have a kind of binocular and looking forward, and you're missing what's here now as well.
because that's not there either.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a real eye opener that we're missing actually half of
Mm.
our lives by being aware in our head, isn't it? It's scary.
Mm. Everything is here.
And with gratitude, I think, you know, that's one of the reasons why I made transformation through the power of quotes, because it's got really short intention setting daily, just
Mm,
morning and evening journal. And
mm,
you know, what am I grateful for today? What was great today, and so on. And then you can kind of start with a specific mindset, because it's got some great quotes as well. And it's, you know, there are loads of journals and diaries like that people can actually, if they need a bit of discipline, they can
yeah.
just quiet, and writing down is really helpful, because you can, in a few months you can come back and look at the evidence of what you had a few months ago that you were grateful for, and then you kind of
Mm,
pile them up over time.
yeah. And also, I mean, in my gratitude process, I set up the goal for the day,
Yeah,
the most important one, what
yeah,
I'm willing to give to other people, and what I appreciate other people do for me, and what I'm happy about now, except apart from those 10 things I'm grateful for. And that is actually setting me up to be here and now,
yes, because
not
you
doing
have
here.
to notice them, right, in order to be grateful. and
Yeah.
and is it now automatic for you? Maybe in the beginning it was a bit more an effort, but do you find it
Mm.
happens more automatically the more you practice it?
Yeah, and also in the beginning, I had problems kind of coming up. What am I grateful for? Because I thought it was to be so big. But it can be that the sun is shining. It can be that you have your flat or your house. It can be that you have your husband, your family. It could be anything.
You woke up breathing this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That you woke up without the alarm bell.
Yeah, and that too, yes. But I, you know, every day approximately 165,000 people don't wake up. They
Mm,
pass. And
mm,
I usually find myself in the morning just really being grateful for the fact that I did wake up, and were given another day to make it.
mm.
Um,
And that is one of my happy things.
yeah,
I am alive.
yeah. And talking with you also makes me so happy.
Thank you, the same, Eileen.
It's just a really amazing conversation, and I think our paths are very. Um, I think there is that connection. I just feel that there is that connection, which is love.
We are connected,
Yeah,
but everyone is connected, right? Because if you have your foot on the floor, that is connected to something else, that is connected to something else. So we are all connected in one way or another.
yeah,
But people don't tend to forget that.
yeah. They do tend to forget that, don't they? Everything, every being around us, the nature, everything. And one of the things I recommend usually, if you're not feeling well, go out to nature. Hug you, because you're connected, and it always hugs you, doesn't it? No judgment.
Mm.
Um,
Except when it's blowing, wind is hard and
oh, Inga, come on, you're Scandinavian. I know.
yeah, we have -2 now.
I know the saying that there is no bad weather, there is bad clothing. So,
Yeah, I know. I was out walking in the bad clothing yesterday.
all right. Okay. Well, it's been absolutely amazing having you here as my guest, and I have no doubt that the audience have got so much out of your wise words and your life experience as well. And if they want to know more, they can about the power they have inside of themselves that will help them to start wherever they are in their lives.
Mm,
At the Power of You by Inga Nordin.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Inga.
Thanks, Aline.
Thank you for joining us in I'm a Perfectionist, Get Me Out of Here podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please do leave stars and a review. Help me spread the word by sharing this with your friends and family. My practical manual, Transformation Through the Power of Quotes, will help you or someone you know get through tough times and feel happier. It is now available on Amazon paperback and Kindle. You can also check out our website, mindandmood.co.uk. Thank you again, and remember, imperfect action is better than perfect inaction. Bye for now.